In previous classes, we have discussed about views, we have discussed, then after views, we have discussed about indexes, and we have discussed about DCL commands. All those we have discussed. After that, I have given you the functions list also. Functions list I have given printouts. I think you all practice these, including functions also. And joins and subqueries we have discussed. And after all these, have started PLSQL. So PL means procedural language, and it is the extension of SQL. So what all is not possible with SQL, we can do with PLSQL. So in PLSQL, you can execute statements as a block, or else statements as a unit. So here we can create two types of blocks, unnamed block and a named block. So we can say program without a name, program with a name. So we can write the programs without any name. So after writing means that they are saved in temporary memory. When you give clear screen or when you close SQL plus editor, then they are deleted. So named block means named programs means they are created with the name. So programs having name like stored procedures, functions, triggers, packages. So all are created with the name. So they are stored in the memory permanently. Like today, if I create if I write a program, then tomorrow we can see because it is saved with the name. That is called a named block. So here PLSQL supports all SQL data types. With SQL data types, we can see Boolean data type is there here. We can see Boolean data type is existing. So here PLSQL supports all this, like all SQL data types having Boolean data type, and it supports ref objects. Ref objects means here we have a reference ref cursor, dynamic cursors will say. Ref means call by reference. We'll call it as call by reference. And this is a declaration here, syntax here. Declare will declare variables. After that, begin, then we'll give the statement or statements, then end is given. And while working with PLSQL, we'll give like this. So here we'll say select asterisk or column names into variable names. In previous class, I've told examples also from table name into variable names. Into variable names means whatever values are there in the columns, we are sending those the values in the columns to variables. Then from table name, where clause is given. Where clause or where condition we are using. In PLSQL, we are using select statement, but what is new here is we are writing into variable name. So table column values will go to variables. Then we can print. And here, if you want to edit the program, like a program with name or without name, we'll write ed so that we can do changes. In your system, if you are not getting editor, then we'll write like this: set edit file command. Then whatever editor we are opening, it will save the file with this name, sqledit.sql file name. And a colon equal to is for assigning the values. And to display the values, we are using dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So to display the values. And here you can see dbms underscore output is the package name. In Oracle, package means it is a collection of procedures and functions. Package is the collection of procedures and functions. We can call them as subprograms also. Procedure is a subprogram. Function is a program. Subprogram will say. And here you can see set server output on we are going to give here. So when you write set server output on in SQL plus editor, we can see the result. In previous class, I have told about all these examples. And we have discussed about column level attributes also. Column level attribute means the data type and the size of the columns. The data type and size of the columns, we can use it for variables. For variables, if you want to give the data type and size of any column in the table, then we can use column level attributes. And here you can see row level attributes are also there. Row level attribute means the complete definition of the table. The complete structure of the table you can store in one variable. Complete structure of the table means data types, column names, data types, the size of the columns. All these we can store in one variable. With one variable, we can get all the column names, all the data types, the size of the columns, all we can get. In previous class, I have told all this. And here you can see. So now we'll see how to work with if condition. So when you want to work with if condition, we have to write like this. If condition, then statement or statements. Again, if you want to give one more condition, else if, ELS, IF, condition, then statement or statements. Else, statement or statements, then end if is given. End if is given, end if. Okay. So like this, we have to write if condition. So if I want to give 3 values and if I want to print the highest value. So you have already done these programs, accepting 3 values and giving sum of giving the displaying the biggest value that we'll see now. So here I am using declare a number of 5 colon equal to ampersand a. Ampersand a for taking input. And here b number of 5 colon equal to ampersand b. And c number of 5 colon equal to ampersand c. And after this, I'll say begin. Then here I'll use condition. If A greater than B and A greater than C. So here I'm using AND operator. If A value is more than B value and A value is more than C value. AND operator means 2 conditions should be satisfied. Then, so here I'm writing then here I'll say dbms underscore output underscore line. Then here I'll say biggest value. Then here I'm using pipe symbol. Pipe symbol A is given. Then here I'll say ELS IF. Else if B greater than C. So after checking A value, here we are using B and C. If B else if B greater than C, then DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. Biggest value. B is given here. So here I am using pipe symbols, two pipe symbols. Here concatenation operators. Then here I'll say else if, else, not else if else. DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. Biggest value, pipe symbol C is given. So here to close if condition, we have to write end if. To close if condition, we have to write end if. If you write ELS EIF, else if you write here, I'm writing ELS IF. ELS IF means continuation. If I write else if, then I have to use if condition multiple times. If I write if, and if I write else if, then I have to write end if for two times. Now, if I write ELS IF, it is like continuation. So no need to write for two times. One time is enough. Closing of one if condition. But if you write separately, else space if, then you have to write if condition for end if for two times because two if conditions are there. Now here end if, then end is semicolon. So here it is asking for the values here. First value, second value, then third value. Sorry. File, save, exit. So here first value, then second value, then third value. So here it is not giving the result here. It is not showing the result. So here we have to execute set server output on. So first value, second value, then third value. So here you can see biggest value 78 it is given, highest value. Right, if condition syntax and example. Write the syntax first. If condition syntax, then example. Here you have to write ELS IF. So here you can say E is missing. ELS IF is given. If I write else if like this, else if I write like this, I have to give one more and if. If I write only ELS IF, one word, then it means it is a continuation. If it is continuation, no need to write and if for second time. ELS IF. C, C++, Java, .NET, C Sharp. All syntaxes are same, but Oracle syntaxes are different. With if condition, with loops. So for if condition, for else, for loop, will not use semicolon at the end. If I give semicolon here, then it will not enter into this block here. For if condition, we should not give semicolon because in if condition, some statements are there. So to enter into that block, if condition block or else block, we should not give semicolon. So here you can see simple loops are there. Here in two ways we can use a loop, then statement or statements, exit when condition and loop is given here. So end loop is given like this we can write, or otherwise we can give like this loop statements, then if condition, then exit. Exit means to come out from the loop, then end if. So inside the loop we can use if condition, and here for closing this if condition and end if. To close the loop we are using end loop we are using. So if I want to print numbers from 1 to 10, so to print numbers from 1 to 10 we can use simple loop we can use. So here I'll say declare n number of 5 colon equal to 1 is given. So n is the variable initialized with 1. Colon equal to means for assigning the value. In C language and in Java for assigning value we'll use equal to. But here we are using colon equal to give values to the variable. Then here I'll say begin, then here I'll say loop, and here I'll say dbms underscore output dot put underscore line of n is given. N. Then here I'll use exit when n greater than equal to 10, or I'll say greater than 10. Exit when n is greater than 10. If n is greater than 10, exit. And after this, here I'll say n colon equal to n plus 1. So here we are giving increment also. And after this, here I'll use end loop semicolon. Then end semicolon. So here it is giving up to 11, it is giving here. Exit when n greater than equal to 10. So I'll give exit beginning values. After checking the condition, it will print. If I want up to 10, I can give like this. So you can see. So here you can see 1 to 10 it is giving. So these are the statements here. Declare n number of 5 colon equal to 1. N value is 1, starting value. Begin loop we are using. Within loop and end loop we are giving statements. So for we are giving loop and end loop for multiple iterations, repetition. Here you can see exit when n greater than 10. This is the condition. So here first time n value is 1. N value is 1 is not greater than 10. Then dbms put underscore line of n means it will print n value 1, it will print. N colon equal to n plus 1 means 1 plus 1, 2. With 2, it will go back to the loop. Then it will check whether it is more than 10 or not. It is not more than 10. It will print 2. 2 plus 1, 3. Again, it will check the condition. Print 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And here you will get 10 plus 1, 11. Then again, it will go back to the loop. Exit when n greater than 10 means 11 you will get. 11 is greater than 10. Exit from the loop. Like this we will get. So here we'll use n greater than equal to 10, we'll use otherwise. Here I'll use n greater than equal to 10. So it is giving 10. Up to 10, 1 to 10. You can write n greater than equal to 10 means if it is greater than equal to 10, loop will continues. More than 10 means exit. Like this we can write. This is also correct. And here we can use this if condition we can use here. If condition we can use. So in the previous example, here we are printing the value. After printing the value, we are writing like this. Here I'll say if n greater than equal to 10, then here I'll write then. If then is the part of syntax. Then here exit. Exit is given here. And if n value is greater than 10, greater than equal to 10, then here exit. Exit is given here. Then n colon equal to n plus 1 is given. If n value is less than 10, loop will continues. Okay, like this we are giving. So it is also giving 1 to 10 numbers. But here we are not writing exit when condition. Here we are writing if condition. In if condition, we are writing if n value is greater than equal to 10, then exit. Then exit. So here it is printing 10 here. After that, checking the condition. That's why we are getting 10 also here. First it is printing 10. Then it is checking. If n value is greater than equal to 10, exit. ఓకే ఫస్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఏంటి వాల్యూ ప్రింట్ చేసి వాల్యూ ప్రింట్ అయిన తర్వాత ఎగ్జిట్ అందుకే 10 కూడా వస్తుంది మీకు ఓకే and here you can see while loop is there. Simple loops are there, while loop is there. And here while condition loop statements, then end loop is given here. So here while condition loop and loop is given now. Loop and end loop means in C language and in Java we'll use a flower brackets. Loop and end loop works as a flower brackets like block. So after while loop what we will give? Flower brackets, curly braces will give. Inside curly braces you will write statements. Here we are giving while condition loop end loop we are giving here. Loop and loop works as flower brackets, curly braces, used to execute statements as a block. So here if I want to print numbers from 1 to 10 here. So here I will say declare then n number of 5 colon equal to 1 is given. Then here after this begin. After begin here we are writing while condition. While n less than equal to 10. If n value is less than equal to 10, loop will continues. If n value is more than 10, exit from the loop. This is the condition. So here loop. So for loop we should not give semicolon. If we give semicolon, then we cannot enter into the loop. Okay. So because in loop some statements are there, then here I'll use dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, and here I'm using n, and after this n colon equal to n plus 1. Increment is given here, and here I'll say end loop, then end is semicolon. So you can see it is showing numbers from 1 to 10, it is giving 1 to 10 numbers. We can use like this. See here the use of loops, while loop is not to print numbers from 1 to 10. Here I am telling the syntax. Here you are learning syntax. So when you are working with examples, especially when you work with cursors, then we'll use while loop to get records. When you want to get records from the table, we'll use while loop, not to print numbers like this. Now you are learning the syntax, how it is working, how it is executing. But in the coding, loops are used to get records from the table. All the records are multiple records from the table. Then loops are used. So here when you see this, declare n number of 5 colon equal to 1 is given. So n is initialized with 1, begin while n less than equal to 10. If n value is less than equal to 10, loop will continues. If it is more than 10, exit from the loop. Here we are writing loop and loop. Inside this print n means it will print 1. N colon equal to n plus 1 means increment. 1 plus 1, 2. Again it will check whether 2 is allowed or not. It will print 2. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 it will print. Then 10 plus 1, 11 it will take. So it will go to the loop. So 11 means condition is not satisfied. So if it is 11, then exit from the loop. Like this it will work. Okay. And here we can see for loop is also there here. For loop is also there. The syntax is like this. For variable in starting value to ending value. Okay. Then here you can see a loop, then statement or statements, and loop is given. Loop and end loop are like flower brackets, curly braces. Whenever you want to execute the statements, then we can use it. We can use. So here you can see this. Here I'll say for. Here I'm giving for, or else I'll use begin. Begin. Here we are not declaring variables here. Variables declaration is not there here. If a variables declaration is not there, no need to write declare. Declare is not required. So here I'll say begin for n in 1 to 10 is given, dot dot. 1 to 10. After this loop, then here I'll say dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. N is given. Then after this end loop, end semicolon. So it is giving numbers from 1 to 10, it is giving here 1 to 10 numbers. So here if you want to get numbers in reverse order, so reverse order also we can get. So here we can use in a reverse we have to use here. So for n, reverse and giving, reverse. So you can see reverse means 10 to 1 it is giving 10 to 1. Here we are writing what here? Here when we are writing the code, here we are writing 1 to 10. In C and in Java, if you want to get numbers in reverse order, there you will write I equal to 10, I equal to 10. Then I greater than while I greater than equal to 1, I equal to I minus 1. Okay. In for loop, if you are writing, okay, na? In C language and in Java, what you will write? While loop. I equal to 10. Reverse. I equal to 10. While I greater than equal to 1. Inside the loop, I equal to I minus 1. In for loop, what we will write? In C or else in Java. In for loop, for I equal to 10. I greater than equal to 1. I minus minus. But here only just reverse. When we say reverse, it is printing values from 10 to 1. I am not writing I'm not writing 1 to 10, I'm not writing here. I'm writing 10 to 1, I'm not writing 10 to 1, only 1 to 10. When we say reverse, it will print the values in reverse order. Here I'm using next two I'm using, we'll see this. Okay, and here you can see bind variables are there. See, bind variables means used for out parameters in procedures. So in PLSQL, we are having procedures. there will use parameters, input parameter, output parameter, input parameter to take values, output parameter to give values. So here you need to know what is bind variable, how it will work. In stored procedures we'll use. In procedures we are going to use. Okay. So declaration is like this. Variable, variable name, data type. Variable you have to use. This keyword we have to use. Variable. Variable name, data type. Then here you have to write colon variable name, colon variable name, colon equal to value. Then print, then colon variable name we are using. If you want to print the value in variable, you can use print. Colon variable name is bind variable. Bind variable means whatever value you are giving, it will show. But here you will not see the exact use of this bind variable. If you want to see the exact use of bind variable in procedures, you will see that. Okay. So here we'll see this three variables we are here. Three lines will give here. Three lines. So here I'll say variable. So here B number of 5 is given here. B number of 5. So here it is not taking the size here, B number. Variable B number is given. Variable B number. Then while using the variable, we have to use colon. Colon B equal to, here I'll say 10. Again, colon. So here we have to use execute, sorry. Execute I didn't give. B equal to, colon equal to 10 is given. Execute colon B, colon equal to 10. We are giving assigning value using execute. Execute will use in procedures that we are using here. Then here I'll say print colon B. Print colon B. It will show the value in B here. So here you can see B value is 10. Like this you'll get. So here three statements we have to give here. Variable B number. When you declare bind variable, you have to use this keyword. When you are assigning the value, we have to write execute. EXEC means execute variable colon equal to 10. Then print B. See, these are not SQL comments. If these are SQL comments, you have to give semicolon. These are SQL plus editor comments. In SQL plus editor comments, semicolon is not required. From the beginning, I am saying. Here we are using SQL comments, SQL plus editor comments. SQL comments means select, insert, update, delete, create, alter, drop, rename, truncate, grant, revoke, rollback, commit. All these are SQL comments. SQL command should be terminated with semicolon. Here we are using SQL plus editor comments. SQL plus editor comments means many we are using. Clear screen, CLSCR, set line size 120. Then ED we are using editor. All these are SQL plus editor comments. These are also editor comments only. That's why we are not using semicolon. Okay. Start with simple loops. Write the syntax, after that write the example, write a simple loop. So when you are learning basics, like loops means many days you will learn. Like patterns will be there. You will print stars. Don't expect like this. Here in Java loops means you will learn many programs and strings, arrays. But here we are not doing that. Here you can give SQL prompt. SQL prompt begin. Here also not there. SQL prompt you can give. SQL prompt begin for two examples. SQL prompt begin. Here also SQL prompt begin. Here in syntax semicolon is given, but without semicolon also statements will run. If you give semicolon, it is not a mistake. With the semicolon, the statements will run. Without semicolon also statements will execute. In syntax, semicolons are given here, but I am not using here in the example. After the basics in PLSQL, so now we are going to discuss about exceptions. We are going to discuss. Here, when we are working with exceptions, exceptions are used to handle or manage runtime errors. So now the main heading is exceptions. Now we'll see how to handle exceptions. We'll see. So runtime errors, we'll call them as exceptions. Exceptions means runtime errors. So when we are using exceptions, then we can handle or manage runtime errors so that the program can run successfully or the program execution can be completed successfully. So if runtime error occurs, like in PLSQL program, if runtime error occurs, then that error will affect the application. In which application we are using. Then application will stop suddenly in the middle. When runtime error occurs, the application will be stopped suddenly in the middle. So even if runtime error occurs, if you want to run the application successfully, or if you want to complete the execution successfully, then we have to use exceptions. In Java, exception handling is there. So there you are going to use a try, catch, and finally is not there. Try, catch, finally. Finally is not there. Try, catch, finally is there. So when you are using try, catch, finally, then your program will run successfully. So it won't stop suddenly in the middle. It is not, execution is not interrupted in the middle. Even if runtime error occurs, your application will run successfully. Okay. So for that we are using exceptions here. Exceptions we are using. So how try catch finally works in Java? Here exceptions are also used here. So here when we are working with exceptions, here we will not see more effect in database, but you will see effect of the runtime error only when the programs are used in Java applications. If you are using PLSQL programs in Java application, then you can see the effect when exceptions are not used. So in PLSQL, when runtime error occurs, in PLSQL program, when runtime error occurs, then it will affect that in Java application. What will happen in Java application is that application will be closed suddenly in the middle. That application or website is stopped in the middle. Then again you have to open the website in the browser. Again you need to start. See, in SQL Plus editor, you will not see that effect of the error. Here we cannot see that effect. When you are using PLSQL programs in Oracle application, when runtime error occurs in PLSQL program, your Oracle application will stop. It will suddenly, it will be closed in the middle. It will close. But to avoid all these, what you should do, you have to use exceptions in PLSQL. When you are using exception in PLSQL, then even though when it is used in Java applications, even if error occurs, your application will run successfully. For that, we have to use. Okay. So in PLSQL programming, we'll use like this. When exception, then statement or statements. When exception, then statement. When others, then others is there. Others is used to handle any runtime error. Any runtime error occurs in application. So in Oracle, we can see predefined exceptions. No data found, too many rows, zero divide, invalid cursor, cursor already open, invalid number, like all these are there here. All these are the predefined exceptions. So when we are working with the programming, when you are working with PLSQL programming, then based on the statements you write, you can predict what error is going to come. You can predict what error is going to come. So according to your prediction, according to your analysis, you will be knowing what to use. Like no data found or too many rows or zero divide or invalid number, you will be knowing what it should be used. So in runtime errors, you'll have two types here. Known errors, unknown errors, predicted errors or unpredicted errors. Okay, like all these names are used here. Okay, you can say expected errors, unexpected errors. See, when you are learning PLSQL, if you are doing more practice, if you are practicing my programs, I will send all the notes. See, here I'm not telling 1-2 programs here in the notes. After completing PLSQL, I will send the entire notes of PLSQL. All the files I'll send to Telegram group so that you can practice other programs also. So when you are practicing PLSQL, then you will understand when you will get error. You can predict, you can analyze when error is going to come. So according to your analysis or prediction, you can write the exceptions. Okay, sometimes unknown error will come, unpredicted error will come, unexpected error will come. That is also runtime error only, but you didn't expect that. If you expect that error, you will write the code. Sometimes unexpected errors will come, unpredicted errors, unknown errors will come. You have to handle those also. Then what you should write here? When others. When others means you did not write code to handle that error. You will write when others. Then statements you will write. Okay. So in PLSQL, you can handle predicted errors. You can handle unpredicted runtime errors. Runtime errors. Unpredicted runtime errors, how can you handle? When others, then. When you write when others, then you are in safe zone. The program can give any runtime error when others is going to handle that error. Okay. So if you are using no data found, too many rows, zero divide, they are for specific errors. When you write when others, then when others means any error it may show, any error may be thrown. It is going to handle that error. When others, then that you should use here. Okay. Right. The main heading is exceptions. Right. These are used to handle. These are used to handle or manage runtime errors, runtime errors, so that the program execution execution can be completed successfully. Completed successfully. See, here, listen, here runtime errors can occur due to various reasons. Runtime errors can occur due to invalid logic. Invalid logic means if the statements are wrong, then it can throw exception. Or invalid input. Or if any memory related issues are there, it will throw exception. It is going to raise error. So, Program can throw exception, program can raise error when there is mistake in the logic or when invalid data is given, wrong input is given, or if any memory related issues are there. Okay, right. Runtime errors can occur. Runtime errors can occur due to wrong logic. Wrong logic means wrong statements. Wrong logic, invalid inputs. Invalid input means incorrect data. Memory related issues, etc. Memory related issues, etc. Right in next line. Others is used. Others. Others is used. Underline others. Underline others. Others is used to handle any runtime error. To handle any runtime error. Any runtime error occurs in occurs 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 in PLSQL program. PLSQL program. Listen, see when you are working with Java, like if you want to handle any runtime error in Java, what is the class used? You'll have all these no divide by zero, all these will be there now. What is the generic class to handle any runtime error in Java application? Exception. Exception class. Exception handling is over now. Chapter is completed. Try catch finally all throws throwable interface. I think exception class. Exception class only. Catch block le sir. Catch block la class name ఏమి ఇస్తారు? Exception. See, exceptions are classes only, no. I'm asking what class name you will give in catch block. Exception only. To handle any error, exception class. Write the syntax and write the list of predefined exceptions. What are the exception classes in Java? Tell some names. Argument exception, arithmetic exception, okay. Null reference exception, not there. Argument exception, null reference exception, overflow. Overflow is not there. Number format, okay. See, I'll not start examples. Afternoon we'll see. 2 o'clock we'll see the examples using exceptions. We'll see the examples using it. We'll see 3, 4 examples. Then after that I'll start. After that I'll start stored procedures. See, don't think like the classes are very fast. See, now I've covered the syntaxes. Don't compare with Java. Databases means anywhere the teaching will be like this only. PLSQL will be little bit fast because programs, we'll see one by one, we'll see. SQL will take time because many topics are there. So afternoon I'll tell you exceptions examples, and after that I'll give introduction to stored procedures. Stored procedures will see many examples. I'll give at least 10 to 15 examples I'll give in stored procedure. In stored procedure, I'll give 10 to 15 examples because procedures topic is very, very important. After that, functions, triggers, cursors and packages are there. Remaining we can complete fast. Okay. Afternoon, I'll continue with exceptions.